Jake a professional delusion.
Jake Paul just took a major hit, and this time, it wasn't in the boxing ring. After backing out of his scheduled match with Gervonta "Tank" Davis, the boxing community went wild. Tank didn't hold back, firing back with pure fury. What was meant to be Jake's biggest career moment quickly turned into one of his most embarrassing setbacks.
Because you have someone that we come from two different sides, like, of the world. We still on the same path to get the same thing.
This fight was shaping up to be enormous. With less than 2 weeks left on the countdown, the hype surrounding Jake Paul versus Gervonta "Tank" Davis was everywhere. It wasn't just another match, it was a mix of spectacle and suspense. Billboards lit up city streets, interviews were dropping non-stop, and social media couldn't look away. Jake Paul, the entertainer-turned-boxer, was about to face an undefeated world champion. It was set to be one of the biggest crossover moments in boxing, until everything started falling apart.
But take out them hands. They don't even know what to do.
On the surface, everything looked flawless, but behind the scenes, something seemed off. The vibe from Jake's camp had changed. His trademark bravado had vanished. No bold trash talk, no late-night tweets, no wild predictions, just short training clips and cautious captions. Fans began to pick up on the shift, sensing that something wasn't adding up. Even insiders hinted that Jake's sparring sessions weren't going smoothly. The excitement was still there, but the confidence clearly wasn't.
One of the most feared punchers in the sport of boxing. He's got a 93% knockout percentage. That's one of the best among current world.
Then came the shocker. Just yesterday, Jake Paul's team dropped a short, emotionless statement. Due to unforeseen circumstances, the event will no longer take place. And that was it. No clarification, no follow-up, nothing. Months of anticipation disappeared in an instant. Fans were outraged, and the internet went into overdrive with speculation. What were these underlying issues? Was it an injury, a contract dispute, or did Jake pull out before facing a challenge he wasn't ready for?
I believe that he was making the money he says he's making. Showtime Boxing wouldn't have gone out of business, and Showtime would have made sure.
Let's be real. Gervonta Davis isn't just another retired MMA fighter chasing a quick paycheck. He's a powerhouse with 29 victories, 27 of them by knockout, and a reputation for ending careers in brutal fashion. Jake Paul, on the other hand, has built his name by fighting big personalities, not big risks. Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, Nate Diaz, all tough guys, sure, but none were active boxers at their peak. This was only supposed to be Jake's second fight against a legitimate boxer, and just like the first time, it never made it to the ring.
He has made a significant impact on the sport of boxing. He has certainly brought new eyes to the sport. He's done so much in uplifting women's boxing.
That's what made the cancellation seem a little too convenient. Jake's camp blamed underlying issues, but it didn't take long for leaks to spill out, and the truth wasn't flattering. Reports revealed that the Georgia State Athletic Commission had never officially approved the bout. The reason? A major weight mismatch. Officials labeled it a serious safety concern, and even went as far as to call the idea absurd. Rick Thompson, the commission's chairman, didn't mince words when speaking to reporters. It's a cash grab. They've been hyping something that should never have been sanctioned. That single quote sent shockwaves across the boxing world. If the state's own chairman was calling it a scam, was this fight ever legitimate to begin with?
I never let myself go there. You know, I'm a fierce.
Without the proper authorization, the fight couldn't legally take place in Atlanta, or anywhere under the commission's watch. And Jake's camp was well aware of that. They'd reportedly been warned weeks in advance, yet instead of addressing the issue, they kept the hype machine running. Tickets were sold, interviews continued, and the show of confidence never faded, at least not publicly. But once the truth surfaced, fans felt deceived. One frustrated comment summed it up perfectly: they sold us a dream that never existed. For months, Jake supporters believed he was preparing to face one of the most dangerous punchers in the sport. Now, it seemed like he was backing away, not because of red tape, but possibly out of fear. And honestly, who could really blame him?
Jake fought a guy who was his age and was also considered a boxer, and he lost.
Going up against Gervonta Davis isn't just entertainment, it's danger. Tank doesn't simply win fights, he demolishes opponents. Every bout ends with a statement, a knockout that lives on in highlight reels for years. Jake might sound like a fighter, but Gervonta is one through and through. The weight issue may have served as the official excuse, but fans weren't fooled. Jake saw the stats, the power, the knockouts, and maybe realized this wasn't the kind of spotlight he wanted to step into. The timing made it all sting even more. Just 2 weeks before fight night, press tours were scheduled, sponsors were locked in, and millions had already been poured into promotion. Now, it was all gone. Worse yet, Jake's credibility was hanging by a thread. People began to ask, was the problem child truly a fighter, or just a performer who only swings when it's safe?
They called Gervonta Davis the Tank for a reason. He only needs one shot to end the entire night.
Davis, back straight up, down.
Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis wasn't about to stay silent. He's not the kind of man to take disrespect quietly. Reports say Tank's team tried contacting Jake's camp days before the fight was called off, but got no response. Once the cancellation became official, Gervonta went off online. He blasted Jake publicly, saying, "You talk like a lion, but you run like a mouse." At that point, it wasn't about contracts or money anymore, it had turned personal.
Great event. Every time I fight is fireworks. Boxing wins come November the 14th. We just giving boxing what it needs, and that's the sight.
For Gervonta, this was far from just a spectacle. He spent weeks training, cutting weight, and sacrificing time, only for the other side to back out. His anger was more than justified. The boxing world could feel it too, the frustration, the disappointment, and the sense that something real had been taken away before it even had a chance to begin.
So if you can keep fighting fucking 50-something-year-old...
Let's be honest, Jake Paul has built his career by choosing his opponents carefully. Not the toughest fighters, but the ones that make headlines. He's a master at picking the safe storm, retired MMA stars, former champions past their peak, and influencers with weak punches. Jake made his name facing fighters who'd already fought their battles. But Gervonta Tank Davis? That's not a YouTuber's match, that's a nightmare.
He has knocked out 28 of the 31 opponents he has faced over the last 4 years. He's broken numerous live gates in multiple cities.
Tank isn't the kind of opponent you choose for a viral highlight. He's the one you pick if you're ready to face serious danger. With 29 wins, 27 by knockout, and enough power to make seasoned fighters rethink their careers, Tank doesn't just knock opponents down, he makes them vanish. So when Jake signed the deal, it shocked everyone. He was actually stepping in to fight Tank. Even his most devoted fans felt a twinge of nervousness. And apparently, so did Jake. As fight night approached, his usual online bravado started to fade. The cocky "I'm built different" persona disappeared, like a lion suddenly realizing it had wandered into a tiger's cage. Reports from camp began to leak. Sources said Jake wasn't looking sharp in sparring. One insider claimed, he got hit and just froze. Another mentioned he was getting dropped by mid-level sparring partners. The rumors spread quickly. The self-proclaimed knockout king was suddenly struggling just to make it through training camp.
He's putting his legacy on the line in a much bigger fight, proving to the world this man has absolutely no fear.
And truthfully, it's easy to see why. Gervonta Davis doesn't mess around. Boxing is his life, he lives and breathes it. He's famous for breaking ribs, ending careers, and humbling even the toughest egos. Sparring with him isn't training, it's punishment. Jake simply wasn't prepared for that level of intensity. Deep down, he knew it. This wasn't the world of YouTube boxing anymore, this was about survival.
And I have to be prepared, I have to be the most locked in I've ever been, and that's what makes this a massive...
Promoters started shifting blame. Some suggested Jake's team had been using Tank's name for attention, never intending to follow through. One insider even called it a publicity stunt that went horribly wrong. What was supposed to be a historic fight turned into a financial mess. Everyone lost something. Gervonta lost time, promoters lost money, and fans lost trust. And Jake? He lost credibility. He can talk about underlying issues all he wants, but the reality is simple. When faced with a real boxer, a genuine threat, and real consequences, he stepped back.
Fire, and I'll definitely be watching come the 14th.
For Gervonta, this was never about money, it was about respect. Jake turned it into a circus, while Tank wanted to settle things with fists. Instead, all he got were headlines. The situation exposed Jake's hidden weakness, fear disguised as confidence. It worked against retirees and influencers, but against Gervonta Davis, the act completely fell apart. Now, all the posters, the hype, and the talk are gone. What remains are broken contracts, frustrated sponsors, and one furious Tank Davis still training like the fight never skipped a beat. Jake may have walked away, but Tank isn't finished. The fight may be over, but the story isn't. The ring is empty, the lights are off, yet the echo lingers. Gervonta didn't need to throw a punch, Jake Paul knocked himself out with fear. The internet has already crowned Tank the winner of a fight that never even happened. As one fan summed it up perfectly, Jake Paul didn't lose in the ring, he lost in the mirror.